Hey guys, another day, another lunch break video. I am nice and flushed. I think I'm having a hot flash. Today I figured I would talk to you guys about my delivery with Frankie. I had like the best experience. I am actually really excited to give birth again, which I know we don't hear a lot, and it's an unfortunate thing about women and birth, and I feel like women only share their traumatic stories, and when we have great experiences, sometimes we don't share them because we don't want people to have bad expectations or like high expectations or feel bad about their birth trauma, because birth trauma is so real and I feel so bad for some of the things people go through. But I think it's important to share the good stories too, because there are good stories out there, and every labor, every delivery, every baby, every mom, it's all different every time anyway. So going in with an open mind is really important, and that's what I did with Frankie. We had an elective 39-week induction, and I can do another video more on the research I did about that, but we felt comfortable with that decision. It was elective. I had a really healthy pregnancy. I just was ready for her to come, and there are some benefits to it, and just knowing like the date and time and just being prepared mentally for me was actually like a lot better than like this anticipating delivery for weeks. It's really stressful, and it's really hard mentally to not know when to expect anything to start. Like my water could break tonight and we could be delivering Robbie tomorrow, or who knows, I could go another 4 weeks. So it's hard to know. It's just part of the experience. So having the induction date was really helpful for us. And so we made it to our induction date. We were 39 weeks on the dot. It was a Saturday morning. We got the call at like 5 a.m. to come in for 7 a.m., which is right at shift change. I am so blessed. I know the nurses and doctors for where we delivered because I used to work on the postpartum unit for a few years. So I got to be around my friends. I got to handpick my team, which is really special. And I'm really lucky, and I have full faith in the hospital that we delivered at, and I would never deliver anywhere else. So that was just already, really helpful with the anxiety of going into our first delivery. But we got the call. We went in at 7 a.m. They got me all hooked up. We were nervous but excited, not knowing what to expect, and I know inductions can take a really long time, so we were just fully prepared to just hunker down, be there for as long as we needed to be. So we went in. We were there at 7 a.m. By the time we met with the doctor and talked about all of our options, she had checked me. I was 1 centimeter dilated already, and I think 80% effaced, which is just the thinning of the cervix. So my body had already started the process, but I definitely had a long way to go. And so I elected to do the balloon, which is where they insert a balloon into the cervix and kind of just expand it to help it dilate. And so we decided to do that. And by the time that process started, it was around 8:15 a.m. And the doctor came in, and it's an uncomfortable procedure. She's filling the balloon with water, and so it's expanding and uncomfortable, and I feel the pressure. And then all of a sudden I felt a lot of water, and it was warm water and a lot puddled underneath me. And I was like, I think my water just broke. And the doctor was like, no, maybe I'm leaking from the syringe or something. And so she went and checked, and nope, my water had broken, when she said she's never seen that before. So she said, my water probably would have broken in the next day or two anyway, just because my body was ready to go. So that was really exciting, because it means I was already doing what I was supposed to, and it kind of changed our plan, because the balloon can't be in once your water breaks. For risk of infection. So they took the balloon out. We talked about doing myso, but we kind of gave it a little time to see how my body responded to my water breaking. So around 10 a.m. I got a dose of myso, which just kind of helps move things along a little bit. And I actually went into labor pretty naturally after that. I started contracting pretty regularly, and so we just like kept up with that plan. I got the 1 dose of Miso and kind of just labored down, and we I'm really into like positioning and like being active. I wanted to do as much as I could without medication, so I had decided to try to hold off. Around, I think like 12:30, I started to get a little uncomfortable. So the doctor checked me. I was 4 centimeters. I was contracting, 100% effaced. So progressing, great. So I was at like 12:30, and I was like, okay, let's do nitrous gas, like to kind of help take the edge off. And then they were on board with that. It took 10 minutes to maybe set up, and by the time they went and got it, I was like, nope, I need an epidural. So they came, they got the epidural right away. I was really lucky to get it quickly, because I've seen a lot of times where people wait to get it and then they can't. So definitely important. If you want an epidural, ask when you're ready, not when you desperately need it. Because even like the half hour, I think I must have been transitioning, because I was having back-to-back contractions and it was so uncomfortable. But the night just got me through getting the epidural. And then once I had the epidural, I felt a lot better, a lot of relief. But I also felt a lot of pressure rectally, which was interesting, because usually that means the baby's like right there. So that all happened probably like around 12:45, 1 o'clock. By like 2, I was like, okay, I have a lot of rectal pressure. So they checked me again, and I was fully dilated, ready to push, which is just crazy, because that was quick. And it did feel very quick in the moment as well. So around 2:30, I started pushing, and we tried a lot of different positions. Frankie's heartbeat it had like low variability, which just means that, you know, she wasn't moving as much. We were a little bit concerned about like how much blood flow she was getting. And so I knew there was kind of like a timeline on pushing and how she tolerated it. So I was just really focused on like doing my best. Pushing's interesting. Like, it wasn't as exhausting as I thought it would be, but I also was like not pushing the way I wanted to. It's hard to like focus all your pressure down there and not like in your face and your mouth and breathing. And so I just was getting frustrated with myself. We tried a lot of positions, and I finally found one that worked. I was using like a sheet around a pole that was over the bed, and I was using that to help me push. And once I did that, I felt better. The doctor was in the room. She just wasn't coming down. I think she was just caught on like something, or turned a little bit. And I was like, I really just don't want to vacuum. And I said that to the doctor, and then all of a sudden Frankie like dropped and was like coming. And I'm actually really grateful for my nurse, and she is a dear, dear friend, and she knows how grateful I am for her. But she was in my ear, and she's like, don't blow this baby out. So I was able to push her out like slowly over a push when she came flying down, and she was out very quickly. And it was after like an hour and a half of pushing, so it was like no progress, and then she just came. And that was at 3:59 p.m. So between like my water breaking at 8:15 a.m. and then delivering at 3:59 p.m. It was a very quick delivery, especially for my first baby and it being an induction. And then my placenta came out fully intact, and my body did what it needed to do. Frankie latched on. We did breastfeed for the first like whole hour of her life, and we did skin to skin, which was really important to me. So it's just a really cool experience, and I'm really excited to do it again, and I hope it's similar. It does make me a little bit nervous that it's going to be a really quick delivery, because like, you know, 8 hours is a very quick delivery for your first baby, and it being an induction. And then we are like we're probably an hour from the hospital. So I just hope we have enough time to get Frankie where she needs to go if it happens naturally, and then like getting to the hospitals makes me nervous, but if I get the opportunity, if he's still not here at 39 weeks, we definitely do plan to do another induction, and we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to share my experience, share my story, and if anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.